Have you ever been confused about the land transfer tax in Ontario? Why do you have to pay it? When do you have to pay it? How is it even calculated? And what about those rebates? Stay tuned, because in this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know about the land transfer tax. What's up everyone, welcome back. My name is Nick Vasquez. I'm a realtor in the GTA with Keller Williams. In this video, we're going to talk all about the land transfer tax in Ontario. Before we jump into the video, I do want to take a moment to say, if this video is helpful for you, please do me a huge favor and click the like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you're feeling extra generous, just tap that little notification bell. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So what is the land transfer tax? Simply put, it's a tax that's paid to the province and sometimes the municipality whenever you buy real estate. It was a tax that was put into place in Ontario in the 70s, and it's always paid by the buyer, never the seller. It's not a sales tax per se, because there is a sales tax in real estate, but it only applies to new construction. This is more so a tax that's paid whenever land gets transferred from one person to another. So when you buy a home and then your name gets transferred onto the title of that property, that's when you have to pay the land transfer tax. So I know I just mentioned it, but if you're wondering when do you pay the land transfer tax, it's when you close on the home, and it'll be part of your closing costs. Usually you won't have to do anything. Your lawyer will just add it to the closing costs, and you just pay it whenever your name gets transferred onto the title and you close on the home. The land transfer tax cannot be paid in installments, so it's going to be paid as a lump sum payment. Make sure when you're buying a house, you're budgeting correctly for this tax and all of your other closing costs. I just put out a video a couple weeks ago about closing costs in Ontario. If you want to see that, just click the little card above. So how's the tax calculated? This is where things get a little confusing. The tax is calculated as a percentage of the property value. The way it works is that the percentage of tax charged incrementally increases as the value of the property goes up. If we take a look at this chart, you can see that for the first $55,000 of the property value, the tax rate is 0.5%. Now from 55K to 250K, the tax rate is 1%. And then you can go down the list, you see, 250 to 400K, tax goes up to 1.5%. From 400 to 2 million, the tax is 2%. And then anything over 2 million, that amount will get taxed at 2.5%. Now, it's not really as simple as just looking at that chart and saying, oh, I'm gonna buy an 800K home, so that means my land transfer tax will be 2% of that 800K. That's not really how it works. The way the tax works is it's broken down into different tax brackets. So for an 800K home, you're gonna be in 4 of those brackets. I'm gonna go through an example with you so you can see what I mean. So the 800K home will fit into the 2% bracket. That's for houses between 400K and 2 million, obviously, right? But to calculate the land transfer tax, you're gonna need to do 4 separate calculations and then add them all up to get your total land transfer tax amount. All you would need to do is calculate 0.5% of 55K, which is $275. Then you're gonna go to the next bracket. And since the home's obviously not between 55,000 and 250,000, we're gonna use that full amount in that margin, which is 195K. So you would do the same thing. You would do 1% of 195K, which gives you 1,950. Now, same thing for the next bracket. You're gonna do 1.5% of 150K, which is 2,250. And then finally, since the 800K home falls in that 4th bracket, we're gonna minus 800,000 by 400,000 to get the remaining amount of 400K. Then we simply take 2% of 400K to get $8,000. Now we're gonna add up all of our 4 values we got that we just calculated to get a total tax amount of $12,475. That is gonna be your land transfer tax for an 800K home. If you do the math, this actually equals out to 1.55% of the property value. So it's not 2%, it's actually less. This whole process is a little confusing, but thankfully you don't need to do these calculations every time you're looking at a potential home that you wanna buy. You honestly don't even need to know how to do the calculations. There are a lot of land transfer tax calculators online, and I would suggest just using one of those if you're trying to figure out how much you're gonna pay, just because it's much quicker and effective and you don't need to worry about doing all these calculations. I do have a land transfer tax calculator on my website, which I'm gonna link near the top of the description if you wanna go in and play around with that. Anyways, that is how the land transfer tax is calculated. An important thing I wanna know here is if you're buying a home in Toronto, there is a municipality tax on top of that provincial one. It's calculated the same way I just showed you. So basically all you're doing is you're paying the land transfer tax twice. So all you got to do is just figure out what the land transfer tax is and then double it. Also, if you're using online calculators, most of them will have an option to select Toronto as your city, and then it'll give you what the accurate land transfer tax is going to be for that particular purchase price. Now let's talk about the rebates. In an attempt to help first-time home buyers, the government introduced the rebate program where you can get some money back on your land transfer tax. Simply put, you can get up to $4,000 back for the provincial land transfer tax, and if you're buying a home in Toronto, you're able to get an additional $4,475 back. So in the case of the Toronto first-time home buyer, you can get a total of $8,475 as a rebate to your land transfer tax. There are some rules with the rebate, which I'm going to go over right now. So to be eligible for the rebate, you need to be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident of Canada. You need to be older than 18. You must occupy the home within 9 months of purchasing it. You can't have owned a home anywhere in the world in the past, and your spouse can have owned a home while they were already married to you. Those are the rules for the rebate program. Pretty simple stuff, and they apply to both the provincial tax and the municipality tax that Toronto has. To get the land transfer tax refund, you basically just got to apply within 18 months of purchasing your home, and then you'll get that back as long as you meet the criteria I just shared with you. Anyways, we're gonna keep this video nice and short and wrap this one up here. I do hope the video was really helpful for you. If you have any questions or you're thinking of moving to the Greater Toronto area, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact info is below. You can hit me up whatever way works for you. If you want to start looking at houses, if you want to talk about your plans or your goals, just reach out to me and we can start having those conversations. Thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you like the video, please hit the like button. We've got some great videos coming out, so double check, make sure you're subscribed, and stay tuned for all of that. Until next time, enjoy yourself and have a great week.